What up? What's good, people? What is up? They went from the fourth level of hell and sent us down to the seventh level of hell. Why? Because then you got Kwanzaa pulling out her titties. The whore pulled out her titties. And these whore bags over here started feeling and fondling on her tits. Mike.
I don't have it to do with you. Girl, you can go over there, rant and rave. Girl, you can shake all your rainbow bright hair all you want, dear one. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this with you, dear one. I'm not doing this with you, dear one. I don't have nothing to do with you, and I'm done. Baby, you can scream my name from the rooftops from now till Jesus come back. I'm done after this.
Introduced to Tick's Meat. Do you see what I see? Did y'all really hello, casting, wardrobe, y'all let him roll up out of wardrobe with these fans on, giving us all of this, thinking we were not going to see it? We have been waiting with bated breath and anticipating all season long for the slightest glimpse, and y'all just put it out there this episode in all of its magnificent glory.
Listen, that young man said, baby, you ate on this first date, you giving up the cooch on the first date, okay? Or you gonna run me my coins? Run me my cooch or run me my coins? Run me my cooch or run me my coins? Run me my cooch or run me my coins? That's our new theme song. That is the new song. Listen, somebody need to put a beat to that. Run me my cooch or run me my coins. Run me my cooch or run me my coins. That's what y'all got going on.
Called out Sandcastle. Sand, bitch. Ow. Oh my God, it was so funny, girl. Woo, baby, listen, let me tell you something. This shit started to turn into the precursor for some gay porn. That's what I thought it was. Because Big T is getting all, the voice starting to go deeper and get a little more wet and moist and sentimental and all this shit. And it was real gay at this point. Like, I thought the bitches was going to start. I thought Lil Bird was going to turn Big T around and do him like he did Uncle Cliff and do the grease it up with City Lou and ran right in there. It's not a coincidence that Big T started off the conversation by trying to find out if Lil Bird was fucking Mercedes, which he found out he's not. It's also not a coincidence that he would start talking about prison. Why? Because the bitches was probably fucking in prison. Uncle Cliff, you better go get your man. Big T got plans for that. Well, he had it on look like something Big Bird vomited up or something like that. Like, I did not like it. That Big Bird couture he was going for, it did not work. Like the pastor of a gay mega church on Easter Sunday. Okay, it was way too much sequins. He had on way too much makeup. Baby, his face looked like Iyanla Vanzant's neckline. Okay, just way too much makeup, clumped in everywhere on his face. Get it together, sweetheart. Like, you're a big girl, so that gives you a whole lot of canvas. So that was a whole lot of makeup, honey. Yeah. Rico looked like he was auditioning to be one of the three kings, or he was auditioning to be the main character on Jesus Christ Superstar. Girl, Wayne, did you have on a blue thong or a blue G-string or something? If you did, I want to see. Can I see? Get me up in my DMs, and I do want to see if you have a blue thong or a blue, jock strap or something like that. I'd love to see it too. Anyway, but I liked it with the turtleneck. Now, Troy.
Well, hello, people. Hello. How the hell are you? I ain't doing that good, y'all. I'm going to be honest with y'all. I'm going to tell y'all what's going on. So, but yeah. I am not doing that well. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Let me share this on my Bluesky. And then we'll be ready to go. All right. Shit on Bluesky. So y'all listen, here's what's going on with me, y'all. So yesterday, when I got off live, I went and was making me something to drink, and I had to get some ice. And so I have the ice trays that have the big square. And so the way you have to get it out, you have to like really like force it out. So I was pushing it out, and I pushed it with my right hand, my hand that I write with. And I literally saw my whole thumb came out of socket and then went back in. And it hurt so bad, y'all. And so my hand blew up. The swelling is going down now. You still can kind of see it's a little bit swollen. But yesterday, like, my hand was like this big. Like, I couldn't. Like, it's just, it still hurts. Like, I can bend it, and so I can bend it and stuff. I could do this, but once I get like toward it hurts when I go toward the pinky. that like, but yeah, so I've got a date with the doctor in the morning before I'm supposed to go out of town tomorrow. But before I go out of town, I do have an appointment with my doctor in the morning to get this looked at. It yeah, but it still hurts. It's not hurting as bad as it was yesterday. Like it absolutely is better. However, it's not I'm not at 100% with it. Even when I type and write, it there's discomfort there. So I need to go to the doctor tomorrow and see what's going on. And I have been self-medicating, meaning last night I took me some naproxen, chased that bad boy with some goddamn liquor, and it made me feel a lot better. So we're not even doing a Red Bull today. Mm, I haven't taken any medications yet, but I'm about to take that. That'll help me make it through. That's gonna help me make it through this live without having to get any medication. Anyway, how are y'all doing today? Enough about me. You know me, I'll thug it out. I'll make it through now. We gonna make it through. We gonna thug it out. But how are y'all doing today? Is y'all Thursday going okay? Today is Thursday, right? Shit. Anyway, I hope your Thursday is going fine. Mine has been going okay outside of this pain. Let me say hey to y'all, and then we'll go ahead and get this party started. We'll start off with our Black History moment that we're all really, I think we all really enjoy learning about our people, learning about our history, our ancestors, our forefathers, our forerunners and pioneers. Mm, mm. Let me say hey to you all appropriately, and we'll go from there. Got on a little green shirt underneath here, so I'm gonna have green for our colored scheme today. There go our green. Hey DPG. DPG is first in the building. Candace F is here. We have Tracy W in the building. We have Tarshell. Tarshell say, I am on time today. Okay. She is on time today. Hey, Antonia Boo, what's going on? Shout out to all of the members. Shout out to the members and the members only chat. I'm keep reminding people there are some people who recently became members and you have not yet sent me a message on Instagram or an email so that you can get access to the members only chat. The new members only chat is if you thought the old members only chat was good, the new members only chat is 1,000 times better. Shout out to the members. Hey Therese, my sister, how are you? Universal Goddess is here, my Haitian mama. Speaking of which, I need to hit up Nessa and see where she been. Hey Montrez, what's good, bruh? What is up? Crazy Homebody Girl is here. DMV is locked in. Child. Listen, I need myself back to doing great, but so hopefully when I go see the doctor tomorrow, they could do some things, tell me some things, and help me out with that. Hero, hero, hey, 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 hey. Oh, as he says, hey, hey, mother loving, hey. I brought Chris. Harold said he got Krispy Kremes over there for today's Sugar Spike segment. He got Krispy Kremes. Going on over there and see Harold. It's in his book bag. So y'all can go ahead and have y'all Krispy Kreme ready. Child Harold, we sure gonna need them. We sure gonna need them. Savon. Hey, beautiful. What's going on? Child. Hey, Fran, what's good, my love? What is going on, Fran? Aquarius, the only real sign. Aquarius, you got Saturday. We gonna give y'all Aquarius's back. Y'all can start celebrating on Saturday. I told you we on caps lock until tomorrow. After Valentine's Day, we'll give Aquarius is about a week to celebrate. That's all y'all really need, about a good week to celebrate. Because Capricorn's been celebrating since December 22nd. If you need us, if you should need us, I'm just saying. Y'all will be all right. Hey, Quake, what's going on, honey? Hey, Cajun, make sure you act right. We'd hate to have you on block again. We're glad you're here. Act right. Lil baby, what's going on, my love? Child, I'm not sick. I'm just injured. Okay, there's a difference. I am not sick. I am injured. Okay. I am injured, not sick. Volvo. Hey, Cookie. I need to see a chiropractor. I thought that was just for your back. I probably need to go see a physical therapist. Really be sent y'all late? Let me cuss her out for sending y'all over late. Ciao. Ronald, what's going on? What's good, bruh? Whose son you done rolled off of? The Inform, what's going on, my guy? What is going on, sir? Good to see you. Precious, hey boo. How you doing over there? Looking all pretty. Look at all pretty. Sweet Pea is in the building. Hey, Sweet Pea. Hey, boo. Child Cajun, that's all Ravine do. She be snitching on everybody. She be snitching on me. Okay? Child. Yana say she is in the number. She made it on time, honey. Fred, yes, Fred. Membership has its privileges because we be having a good time over there down to the members only chat. BKZ Empress, what's going on? Child. Sharice, how's everything over there in California? Child. All right, we ready to get this party started, y'all. Hey, Tawana. Child, Tawana, I wish it was incorrect. I have to listen, Tawana. I have to. We'll get to it, Tawana. We'll get to it. Look at Antonia. Look at her. Look at her. Look at her. Look at her. Look at Tawana. Hey, Uncle Jay. Uncle Jay came right here showing cleavage again. Child. Child. Well, that's good, Uncle Jay, that my name is in your frequent phrases. Hey, Demetria Boo. What's going on, sweetheart? Janae is here. All right, y'all. We ready to get this party started. We ready to get this party started. Hey, Xavier. Child. Uncle Jay. I went and watched that video with my frat brother, TC. I'll kill you. I went and watched the video of my frat. We don't have room to put him in the dossier today, but I'll put my comments down to the members on when we go back to the members only chat. I'll put my comments in there. If y'all ready to get this party started, it's been raining for the last 2 days. It was raining all day Tuesday and all day Wednesday. It finally stopped raining today, so we'll see. We'll take it, honey. Right now, it ain't too cold. It's only 50 degrees, so I'll take that. All right. Let's get this party started. If y'all ready to get this party started, go ahead and put a Shondo in the chat. Let me know you ready to get this party started. And we can go ahead and start with our Black History moment of the day. Let's get started. All right. It's time for our Black History moment of the day. Which is quickly becoming one of our favorite segments. I have 2 little known Black History moments today. Both of these individuals, even I was not, and I credit myself on knowing a lot of lesser known or little known figures in Black history, both of these individuals I was not aware of. So I learned something today. Hopefully you all will as well, with our two figures. We got two individuals from Black history today. All right, our first person in our Black history moment is Harry S. McAlpin. Harry S. McAlpin. Harry S. McAlpin was the first African American reporter to attend a press conference at the White House. McAlpin was born in St. Louis, Missouri on July 21st, 1906. He grew up in St. Louis and then attended the University of Wisconsin, where he studied journalism and advertising and received his degree in 1926. McAlpin then moved to Washington, D.C. to pursue a career in journalism. From 1926 to 1929, he was a reporter, editor, and office manager at the Washington Tribune, an African American newspaper published weekly. From 1929 to 1933, McAlpin went on to work for the National Benefit Life Insurance Company, handling publicity and advertising. In 1933, though, McAlpin joined the New Negro Alliance with the goal of protecting Black employment opportunities in the National Recovery Administration Program, or the NRA program. He also enrolled in the Robert H. Terrell Law School in Washington, where he took classes at night. In the day, he worked for the Federal Security Agency and the U.S. Employment Service. McAlpin passed the District of Columbia bar exam in 1937, and afterwards he started working for Mary McLeod Bethune, who at the time was Director of Negro Affairs at the National Youth Administration. He also worked for the Chicago Defender as a part-time Washington correspondent. In 1943, the National Negro Publishers Association successfully petitioned the White House Correspondents Association for press credentials, which resulted in the National Negro Publishers Association, which is the NNPA, which resulted in the NNPA opening its own Washington bureau. McAlpin was hired as its first full-time Washington correspondent there. He was invited to attend his first presidential press conference in 1944. Despite opposition from the White House Press Correspondents Association, which declared its unwillingness to share notes with McAlpin or grant him membership in the association, McAlpin went to the Oval Office for his first press conference and was personally greeted by President Franklin D. Roosevelt. McAlpin left the NNPA and moved to Louisville, Kentucky to work as the only African American assistant Commonwealth attorney in the state until 1953. He resigned after being dropped from a criminal prosecution case of 3 white women. Kentucky prosecutors felt his presence on the case would violate gender and racial norms in the state at the time. After resigning, McAlpin became leader of the Louisville chapter of the National Association of the NAACP, I should say. He eventually returned to Washington, D.C. in 1968 and worked as a hearing officer for the Social Security Administration before going back to Louisville to practice law in his 70s. Harry S. McAlpin passed away on July 18th, 1985, days after his 79th birthday. McAlpin was married and had a daughter and a son. He was honored by the White House Correspondents Association, the same organization that had opposed his presence 70 years earlier at their annual dinner on May 3rd, 2014. A scholarship was created in his honor, and he was recognized by President Barack Obama for being a pioneer in journalism. That is the story of Harry S. McAlpin. That last name is McAlpin. If you want to look him up, Harry S. McAlpin. Look at Uncle Jay. Look at him. Look at him. Child. He wasn't bad looking though. He wasn't bad looking. I ain't gonna lie to. That hat is sitting, honey. Child. So that's our first moment. Let's get to our next moment. Now, this person in Black history intrigued me. The musician in me was very shocked to find out about this young man. Interesting. We may be related. We share the same last name. Harry Lewis is our next person in Black history, our next moment in Black history. In 1968, Harry Lewis broke racial barriers by becoming the first director of a leading American symphony orchestra. He became the first Black director of a leading American symphony orchestra, the New Jersey Symphony. In 1972, he also became the first Black man to conduct at the Metropolitan Opera House in New York City. Harry Lewis got his start early. At the age of 16 years old, he joined the Los Angeles Philharmonic Orchestra as a double bass player, which made him the first Black member of a major orchestra in this country. He later joined the military, but after his service, he returned to the orchestra as assistant director to the infamous Zubin Mehta. Now, if you don't know who Zubin Mehta is a world-renowned, one of the most famous conductors in the history of conducting, Zubin Mehta. But he served as Zubin Mehta's assistant director at that time. In 1960, he himself debuted as the director of that same Los Angeles Philharmonic Orchestra, I should say. Later, he founded the Los Angeles Chamber Orchestra, and from that point forward, he began to be invited to conduct the best orchestras in the United States. His history-making role as conductor and musical director of the New Jersey Symphony Orchestra in Newark was not for a short period. He continued in this role from 1968 until 1976. Even more, he has been credited with converting an orchestra that critics once described as, quote, a group of musicians without vocation, end of quote, into a nationally recognized orchestra. Later in life, he worked as a guest conductor in other various orchestras and opera companies around the United States and throughout Europe. He died on January 26, 1996 in Manhattan, New York City due to heart disease. And that's the story of a famed musician and conductor in American history, Harry Lewis, Lewis. All right. So those are our two moments in Black history. Hopefully, you learned a little something today. I did not know of either of the two of these gentlemen, and I was glad to find out about them and who they were. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, non-binary or gender-conforming members of our audience, it is that time. It is that time where we break out and bring out and call out the late, great Larry Myers to help us usher in our Sugar Spike segment.
Oh God. Wow! You see, this is the part that I like.
Major Sugar Spike.
So loved the world, I want to fight. That he gave his only begotten son.
Major Sugar Spike.
And shall ever believe.
Major sugar spike.
They shall not perish, but have everlasting life.
Taste the biscuit.
Jesus. In some late breaking news, that will be of note to our Rainbow Coalition compound. Hey, El Sid, you good? You good? You know we ain't got no problem. In some late breaking news, a federal judge has blocked Donald John Trump's gender affirming care executive orders nationwide, which is great news. A federal judge today blocked parts of 2 executive orders issued by President Trump that collectively seek to restrict gender affirming care. U.S. District Judge Brendan Herson, at the conclusion of a hearing, found a group of transgender teens and LGBTQ organizations that sued were likely to prevail on all of their claims that the orders are without authority and amount to illegal and unconstitutional discrimination. Quote, stopping care in the middle of receiving it, any care, really casts doubt on whether, in fact, the goals are to protect the recipients of the care, end of quote. And that was according to federal Judge Brendan Herson in his ruling. Now, he was an appointee of former President Joseph Robinette Biden. It adds to a series of court orders across the country in recent days, temporarily blocking Trump's actions, ranging from orders restricting birthright citizenship to transferring incarcerating transgender women to male facilities to Trump's firing of the head of a whistleblower office. We talked about that on Tuesday, where he fired the head of the White House special counsel office. And there was a judge just yesterday that overturned that and said that he could not fire him. And that Mr. I can't Dellinger, I think it is, he is back in at his position. Let's continue. Under Judge Herson's new ruling, various federal agencies are temporarily prohibited from withholding or conditioning funding based on a health care facility providing gender affirming care anywhere in the country. The plaintiffs, a group of transgender teens, their parents, and 2 organizations, PFLAG and GLMA, raised alarm that hospitals across the country quickly moved to cancel appointments after Trump issued 2 executive orders as part of what his administration has called a crackdown on gender ideology. One order, which Trump signed on his first day in office, states that, quote, federal funds should not be used to promote gender ideology, end of quote. The other, which Trump signed on January 28th, directs agencies to ensure that institutions receiving federal dollars don't provide gender transition treatments for people up to 19 years old. Hospital systems across the country responded by suspending gender affirming treatment. We've reported that over here, while they evaluated Trump's order, which could disrupt care for more than 300,000 transgender minors nationwide. Quote, that order had immediate consequences, end of quote. And that's according to Joshua Block, an ACLU attorney representing the plaintiffs during the hearing. The Justice Department contested the plaintiff's argument, also insisting that the case was premature and should wait for additional guidance. The judge rejected those arguments, going as far as to call the government's position disingenuous at one point. Federal Judge Hurston said, quote, when there's smoke coming out of your house, you don't know what room it's in, but you don't wait to call 911 until you know the exact location of the fire. These plaintiffs have received phone calls stopping their care, end of quote. Today's hearing in Baltimore attracted a protest outside the federal courthouse in Baltimore of more than 50 people supporting transgender rights. So here's the deal, ladies and gentlemen. There were people, and we reported on this just a few days ago, where hospitals and doctors' offices around the country had stopped offering gender affirming care in the middle of these people's treatments. If you know anything about these types of treatments or a lot of treatments in medicine, a pause or halt in certain treatments causes a lot of damage or medical abnormalities, or may cause medical harm, I should say, to those individuals. In certain cases, there may be irreparable damage to a pause in their medical treatment. So that federal judge, Judge Hurst, and hey, SJ, I ain't seen you in a minute. Glad to have you here. That federal judge saying that the federal government cannot withhold federal funding to these hospitals and medical facilities and doctors' offices is a great win for LGBTQ plus rights in this country. And let me go further and say this. You've seen summarily many of these executive orders that Donald John Trump has put into place. Article 3, or as we like to call them, the federal judiciary, has said you can't do this, sir. This is unconstitutional. This is illegal. Even though in many cases there hasn't been a final adjudication, just on the merits and face value, many judges have said, yeah, I have to stop this executive order or halt this executive order. There have been injunctions and restraining orders and all types of things put in place to preemptively stop and halt what this administration is trying to do. Now, that rings back to the issue that we had a couple days ago when we talked about when the federal government does this, we have to make sure that Donald John and his people that are in and his administration adheres to this, because even though this federal judge says you can't withhold funding from these hospitals and doctors' office, it still has to go to the HHS to make sure, or the other agencies that may be providing this funding, to make sure that that funding is forthwith given to these institutions. And that is yet to be seen. We'll see what happens after today. Hey, Miss Shorty B, which leads us um to our next story. So earlier today, um, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. was not only confirmed but installed as Secretary of Health and Human Services, which is a scary notion. The vote was 52 to 48, with all Democrats voting no, including John Fetterman, as well as Mitch McConnell, of former Republican leader of the Senate, Mitch McConnell, also voting no. Now, he was confirmed 52 to 48, which goes back to what I said. I think it was on Tuesday on Red, Blue, and Black. That bitch, Susan Collins, and that other bitch, Lisa Murkowski, them hoes ain't shit. Expecting them to give a damn about the American people or decency, I never depended on them. They always, in these cases, bend the knee and go along with their Republican colleagues. And I expect them to do that. They ain't shit. Don't I If you as a Democrat or if you're on the left expecting saving Susan Murkowski, or not Susan Murkowski, Susan Collins of the great state of Maine, and Lisa Murkowski of the great state of Alaska, to be any help in doing right by the American people, you're reaching. Them bitches ain't shit. But he has been confirmed, and he has been installed. He is now Secretary of Health and Human Services. He is the Secretary of the Department of Health and Human Services. You should know the largest budget of any agency in this country is the Department of Health and Human Services, whose budget is over $1 trillion. Let me say again, the budget for the Department of Health and Human Services is over $1 trillion, not billion, not million, but over $1 trillion. There are more, it's almost 100,000 employees for the Department of Health and Human Services. Underneath the Department of Health and Human Services are 13 agencies. Let me say that again. There are 13 agencies that fall under this department. And here we are. This is a man who has been an anti-vaxxer. This is a man who doctors and medical and scientific agencies across the country have denounced, have rejected, and have said should not be the leader of of this department, the Secretary of Health and Human Services. But yet, here we are. Here we are. I told y'all, I said this yesterday, that every single person that got a confirmation would be confirmed. Earlier today, we also learned that the Senate Judiciary Committee voted to move Cash Patel's confirmation to the greater Senate floor. So that'll be coming up for a vote next week sometime, probably. And I expect him to go through. It drives me to drink. Here we are. Mitch is trying to get into heaven. It's too fucking late, Mitch. We told you yesterday, you are going to descend to the fucking 9th level of hell, Mitch McConnell. And when we get the news of your death, we will do a happy dance for Jesus. That's what we're going to be doing, okay? That is exactly what we're going to be doing. When we hear about your ass descending down to the 9th level of hell, the only glory you'll be seeing after you die is that glory hole down on the 9th level of hell. You want me to pour you something too? I got you, Harold. Harold, I got you. Hey, Complex 613. You late to class, my love. Where you been, Complex 613? Rolling up in my class late like this. We still love you, girl. Crazy homebody girl says she go crip walk like Serena did on Not Like Us when it's announced that you're dead. We'll also crip walk when you die as well. RFK Jr. Now, in more news of the judiciary holding up, now I will say, thank God Joseph Robinette listened to us, because we said that over here first. If those of y'all who've been here know, when Joseph Robinette when Kamala Harris lost the election, what was the first thing we said should happen? We said that what Joseph Robinette should push through every federal judge that he could. And he listened to us. He came over here, Joseph Robinette Biden came over here with his people, and they listened to my broadcast and took my advice, and they started pushing through federal judges, which meant that he ended up with more confirmations of federal judges in his administration during the than Donald Trump did in his first administration. And all those judges from Donald John Trump came because of fuck ass Mitch McConnell. That's why we don't give a shit about him. But Article 3 is doing what it can. Article 3 is holding up its end of the bargain. So, in some good sugar spiky news, a federal judge today extended a temporary block on the Trump administration's plan to place thousands of USAID employees on leave while that judge weighs whether a further pause is warranted. Unions representing government employees sued to stop the shutdown of USAID's operations and restart the flow of foreign aid frozen by President Trump, who has accused the agency of fraud and corruption. To justify its imminent shuttering, y'all know we reported on here, they took down the signs and everything down to Washington, D.C. Trump issued the executive order freezing aid for 90 days pending review of on his first day in office. U.S. District Judge Carl Nichols previously halted the Trump administration's plans until Friday. That's tomorrow. But he said he would extend that block through through February 21st, which is next week, Friday. He intends to rule on whether to issue a preliminary injunction before that date. However, Judge Nichols appeared skeptical of the union's claims, repeatedly questioning why workers could not seek legal remedies against the government as their employer after they've been affected by the proposed changes. And it goes on and on about the legal fight. But we'll take the small listen, in this day and age, we'll take the small victory. Listen, any small victory that we can get nowadays, we gonna take it and go on with it. Because at this point, we got to go day by day. They haven't confirmed him yet, Ronald. They haven't just yet. Might I say it's a shame that he's a MAGA nut, because he is kind of cute. And he's a MAGA nut. That's such a shame. But we have to live day by day in this administration. So any win that we could have, even if it's short lived, we're gonna take it and live to see another day. In more news that we should be alarmed about and concerned about, so I find it real funny what's going on here. Okay, follow this story. Okay, so the State Department, just a day ago said that they would be enacting a $400 million contract to build armored Teslas, right? Then they got pushback from all over the place and removed the word Tesla from the language of the contract to say $400 million in armored electrical vehicles. Well, they got more pushback because people weren't stupid. They knew that that meant that Elon Musk would and his company would now reap the benefits of a new $400 million government contract. So now the State Department, now they changed it from Tesla to electrical vehicles early this morning. Now, just today, after they changed the name, the wording on the contract, they've outright put the contract on hold because there was a lot of pushback. The State Department is placing a $400 million contract to build armored Teslas on hold, and that's according to a State Department spokesperson. Tech billionaire Elon Musk's Teslas appear to have been a likely recipient of this contract, which originated from the Biden administration. The agency's procurement forecast for the year shows the planned contract for armored Teslas with an anticipated award date of September 30th. The document has since been updated to say armored electrical vehicles instead of armored Teslas. However, the State Department spokesperson said the solicitation for the contract, quote, is on hold and there are no current plans to issue it, end of quote. The Biden administration had asked the agency to, quote, explore interest from private companies to produce armored electric vehicles, end of quote. According to the spokesperson, the department opened up a public request for information to gauge interest and heard from only one company, that company being Tesla. The request for information, which is now marked as inactive on the General Services Administration website where it was posted, sought information on quote contractors' capability to produce high quality and armored electric vehicles, end of quote. Now, Elon Musk bitch ass tried to walk it back. When this contract was still on the table, he went on X and said, quote, I'm pretty sure Tesla isn't getting $400 million. No one mentioned it to me, at least, end of quote. Bitch, you lying. But here we are. I'm glad it's on hold. Don't get that bitch, that illegal immigrant, Elon Musk, and his companies, not a damn dime. Speaking of Elon Musk, during yesterday's Committee on Oversight that has now been changed to the Committee on Doge, Representative Greg Casar of the great state of Texas, a Democrat out of the great state of Texas, he had some choice words and he needed to let y'all know what the fuck we got going on in this new Trump administration. What you need to be concerned of as to why there's an Elon Musk in charge of this Doge. I won't try to give you cliff notes. I'll just let you hear Representative Casar say it with his chest in his own words.
This subcommittee is supposedly about looking into waste, fraud, and abuse. So I'd like to start talking about independent inspector generals who are supposed to be looking into waste, fraud, and abuse. Mr. Talcove, do you know how many inspector generals at agencies that were investigating Elon Musk's companies have been fired by the Trump-Musk administration?
No.
It is 5. Ms. Royal, the Inspector General of the Department of Labor had 17 open investigations into Tesla and SpaceX. Do you know what the Trump-Musk administration did to that Inspector General?
No.
They fired him, and I think y'all know. Mr. Whitson, the Inspector General of the Department of Transportation was investigating Tesla. Do you know what the Trump-Musk administration did to that Inspector General?
No.
They were fired. The Department of Defense's Inspector General was looking into SpaceX. Mr. Hedler, do you know what the Trump-Musk administration did to that Inspector General?
I believe he was fired.
Thank you. I think everybody on the panel knows what the answer to these questions were. The U.S. Department of Agriculture Inspector General was investigating Musk's Neuralink. Mr. Talcove, now I'll ask you again under oath, do you know what Mr. Trump did to that Inspector General that was looking into one of Musk's companies?
No.
He was fired. The Inspector General at the EPA was repeatedly taking on Tesla. Mr. Hedler, since it seems that you're answering the questions that everyone knows the answer to, do you know what the Trump-Musk administration did to that Inspector General?
I believe he was also fired.
Also fired. At least 5 Inspector Generals that were looking into Elon Musk's companies were fired by the Trump-Musk administration. These inspector generals, who are independent, protected by law, they are the people that find the waste, fraud, and abuse and found many of the cases of waste, fraud, and abuse that have been brought up today, fired because they were looking into Elon Musk.
Shout out to Representative Greg Gregorio Casar of the great state of Texas. Y'all see what's going on here, right? We see what's happening. You got a bitch sitting in a meeting where they have to go before a sitting committee of Congress, and this bitch got on fucking shades. Now, that same young man is a part of Elon Musk's Doge department, right? This is the fuck shit that we got going on. This bitch sitting before Congress at a hearing, an oversight hearing, and this bitch in the building before Congress with shades on. This is the fuck shit we got going on. Oh, Harold, Vance ain't got nothing to do with this. Vance ain't got a fuck thing to do with shit. Shout out to Representative Kassar for calling these bitches out. Shout out to him. These bitches ain't shit. Ain't shit. I should also tell you, remember yesterday when Donald John Elon Musk held his press briefing in his Oval Office? Remember when Elon Musk did that? You should know that when Donald John took office, they set up rules for the Oval Office. Those rules said that nobody outside of Donald John should hold a press conference in the Oval Office. And what did Elon Musk do? Those rules also said nobody should enter the Oval Office unless they were in suit and tie. And what did Elon Musk have on yesterday? Nobody's suit and tie. There were about 5 or 6 standing rules that Donald John has for the Oval Office. One of those rules said that nobody is allowed to stand over Donald John. These are the rules that he has, not me. Those rules say nobody's allowed to stand over or tower over Donald John in the Oval Office. And what was Elon doing during his press conference? Who's working for who? Or in the immortal words of the late great Hate Aretha, Aretha Louise Franklin, she told us asked us back in the 80s, who's zooming who? Who's zooming who? I'm just saying, who's zooming who? Shout out to Hate Aretha. Listen, these people are a fucking joke. Elon Musk son told Donald John to shut his fucking mouth. That's what he told him. Elon Musk's son told him that he's not the president. I'm just saying. Who's zooming who? Moving on. In more news that should really scare you, let's look into this. Now, here's a story, and not of a man named Brady, okay? Here's the story, right? that mainstream media is not telling you. Uh, Pupils, my wonderful pupils, sit attentive in your desk. Make sure you're taking great notes here, okay? I want you to take good notes here, my wonderful pupils, because I need you to focus in and pay attention to what I'm about to tell you, okay? Let me read this story to you. The young man you see on the screen there is to my left is Ed Martin, okay? Who's Ed Martin? I'm glad you asked. Ed Martin was part of the mob of terrorists and insurrectionists at the U.S. Capitol on January 6th, 2021. Now he's one of the top attorneys in the country, running the agency that successfully prosecuted over 1,500 of those same insurrectionists. Let me read that one sentence of this article again. Those two sentences, that were two sentences. Let me read those two sentences again. Because if those two sentences don't send you into a fucking sugar spike, nothing else will. Let me read these to you again. Ed Martin was part of the mob at the U.S. Capitol on January 6th, 2021. Now he's one of the top attorneys in the country, running the agency that successfully prosecuted over 1,500 of those same insurrectionists. After his inauguration, President Trump appointed Ed Martin to be the interim U.S. attorney for Washington, D.C. until he permanently fills the role. Let me say that again. After his inauguration, President Donald Trump appointed Ed Martin to be the interim U.S. attorney for Washington, D.C. until he permanently fills the same role. In 2021, this same Ed Martin was one of the thousands of insurrectionists at the U.S. Capitol on January 6th. He posted on social media that day saying, quote, "It's like Mardi Gras in DC today. Love, faith, and joy. Ignore hashtag fake news." End of quote. And that's what he posted on his social media. Later in that same year, the U.S. House's January 6th committee subpoenaed Ed Martin, identifying him as an organizer of the Stop the Steal movement that was formed after the 2020 elections. He was one of the organizers of the Stop the Steal movements, one of the several movements and groups of people organizing the January 6th insurrection. Now, some 4 years later, he's become the head of the U.S. Attorney's Office for Washington, D.C., a branch of the United States Department of Justice. I don't know what else y'all want from me. Oh, it gets better. When he entered office, he launched an investigation into the Department of Justice's January 6 prosecutions using a specific obstruction of justice charge, asking employees to retain records related to those cases. He also disbanded the Department of Justice's Capitol Siege section and moved to dismiss cases against those who attacked police officers on January 6th. After that, he fired numerous prosecutors who worked on January 6 cases, following a January 31st directive from acting Deputy Attorney General Emil Bovee. Representative Jamie Raskin, Democrat of the great state of Maryland and ranking member of the House Judiciary Committee, who also was a member of the House's January 6th committee, sent a letter last week to Ed Martin criticizing the firings. In that letter, Jamie Raskin said, quote, "In firing these attorneys, your office has lost prosecutors who collectively had decades of experience as local and state prosecutors and litigators in the country's top law firms, including military veterans and graduates of our nation's best law schools. All of this was done to appease a president who now apparently believes that the law does not apply to pro-Trump rioters who engage in seditious conspiracy and smash police officers in the face." End of quote. Jamie Raskin also pointed out in his letter that since entering office, Ed Martin personally communicated with individuals charged and convicted of criminal offenses related to the January 6th insurrection, as well as their attorneys regarding ongoing matters. And less than a week later, after communicating with them, he threatened those who had opposed Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency, which is tasked with gutting and cutting government agencies. This is happening. So now we have January 6ers. We have people who tried to overthrow our government. We have individuals who were trying to assassinate the sitting vice president, the sitting speaker of the House, and several members of Congress. We have people responsible for a terrorist attack on our nation and on the capital of this very country, now sitting as the head of government agencies and sitting in positions of power in our federal government. Here we are. If that does not scare you, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what else will. The Department of Justice now has leadership that was a part of an insurrection and terrorist attack on this country. So if you had any belief that this administration was trying to do anything to uphold the principles and standards of democracy, if you really feel like they gave a damn about America like they say they do, I hope you realize that they don't. They don't give a fuck about America. They don't give a fuck about this country. The only thing they give a damn about is their power and inflating their bottom lines and their bank accounts. Exactly, Xavier. Thugs and degenerates are now being rewarded and are now running this country. Here we are. I'm here to keep y'all informed. I'm not here to be an alarmist, y'all, but I am here to keep y'all informed because what I don't want is I don't want stuff like this to slip through the cracks and you all not know what's going on in this country, because there's shit going on in this country that they're not trying to tell us about, and that could cause irreparable damage to us, our families, and our livelihoods. The confirmation hearing of the head of the WWE, Linda McMahon, happened today. There were a few teachers protested. You know, I watched the whole hearing. It was a travesty. Let's be clear. What I saw today was awful in the hearing for Linda McMahon, okay? She's wholeheartedly okay with the diminution and obviation of the Department of Education. She spoke to how all of the portions of the Department of Education that deals with students within the various states, things like Title One and IDEA. She spoke to how all of those things and funding could be in the hands of other agencies, and spoke to how there really wasn't a need for the Department of Education. There were teachers that were in the gallery that spoke out in protest during this travesty, and you had a senator out of the great state of Indiana that said that teachers like that are the problem, and who would want a teacher like those individuals protesting because they were immature and weren't deserving of being educators for our children. And I vomited. I didn't vomit in my mouth. I literally vomited. Had to go to the bathroom because I vomited. This is what we have going on. I watched this, and it was so disheartening. And this is happening in real time. She does look like Lamb Chop the puppet. She absolutely does. Diamond Pearl Gem. Here we are. In more sugar, you know, before I get to this story, Larry, I need you. I'm spiking out, Larry. Please help me, Larry.
You see, this is the part that I like.
Major sugar spike.
So long, well, I want to fight. Daddy gave me, yeah, his only begotten son.
Major sugar spike.
And shall ever believe.
Major sugar spike.
They shall not perish, but have everlasting life.
Taste the biscuit.
Jesus! I wish somebody help me.
I felt myself spiking out, watching in real time at what's going on and what's happening to the Department of Education. I felt myself spiking out. I had to get something to take care of that. Xavier, it's no explaining or talking to these people, Xavier. It's no talking to these people. And so this bitch and her fuck shit has started. And I said that with my full chest. This bitch and her fuck shit has started. I told y'all Pam Bondi was a problem, and yet and still she was confirmed. And I told y'all if this bitch, I'm Florida is my home state, okay? I told y'all if this bitch was confirmed, there was going to be a real problem, and here we are. The Department of Justice, headed by that bitch you see on screen, who announced this yesterday. The Department of Justice is suing the state of New York over its sanctuary immigration policies. The lawsuit specifically names Governor Kathy Hochul, State Attorney General Letitia James, and DMV Commissioner Mark Schroeder, all Democrats. Quote, New York has chosen to prioritize illegal aliens over American citizens. It stops. It stops today. You will be held accountable if you do not follow federal law. It's over. It ends, and we're coming after you. End of quote. And that's what that bitch Pam Bondi had to say. She specifically cited New York's green light law, which allows migrants living in the country illegally to get a driver's license. The law prohibits the Department of Motor Vehicles from sharing information about the applicants with federal authorities. Pam Bondi went on to say, quote, law enforcement officers cannot check their identity if they pull them over. Law enforcement officers do not have access to their background. And if these great men and women pull over someone and don't have access to their backgrounds, they have no idea who they're dealing with, and it puts their lives on the line. End of quote. Here's a question that I have for you, Miss Bondi, and the Trump administration. Here's a question that I had. Harold said he got Krispy Kreme donuts if y'all need it. Here's the question I have for this whore. Hey, Cymera, you real late. We done did a lot today. Talked about a lot today, Cymera. Y'all are always touting how the states have the right to govern themselves and how we need to put things back in the hands of the state, and the federal government is always overreaching until it's a blue state, and then you want all federal government overreach. I wonder if a state like Texas or Louisiana had this same sentiment, would you all want this same amount of government overreach? Jeez. Let me move on because I feel it coming up. I feel it rising because I got a good mind to drag this woman. I got a good mind to go over there, grab the Book of Darkness, and dog walk Pam Bondi. And I can say some horrible things. Before I do that, let me go ahead and go to the next story. In more sugar spiky news, the state of Missouri, the show me state, is suing Starbucks, claiming systemic discrimination via their DI policies. Missouri and its Republican Attorney General has sued Starbucks for discrimination because its workforce has, quote, become more female and less white, end of quote. Let me say that again. The actual lawsuit says that Starbucks workforce has, quote, become more female and less white, end of quote. That is the actual quote from a lawsuit from Republican Attorney General in the great state of Missouri against Starbucks. But y'all don't think this is anything to do with white supremacy, right? Filed on Tuesday by the state's Republican Attorney General, the lawsuit accuses the coffee chain of engaging in quote systemic racial, sexual, and sexual orientation discrimination, end of quote, through its diversity, equity, and inclusion policies, including hiring quotas, advancement opportunities, and board membership. The lawsuit alleges that as of August 23rd, 2020, the company's U.S. employee breakdown was 69% women, and that by September 24th, 2024, the figure was 70.9% women. Let me give you those stats again. They're saying the problem is they went from 69% women in 2020 to 70.9% women in 2024. The lawsuit also says that in 2020, the firm's or Starbucks' U.S. workforce was, quote, 47% Black, Indigenous, and people of color, or BIPOC, end of quote, compared with September 28, 2024, when it was just a mess. It was 8.1% Black, 31.7% Hispanic, 5.6% Asian, 47.8% white, 0.6% American Indian or Native American, and 0.5% Native Hawaiian or other Pacific Islander, adding up to 46.5% non-white, a slight drop from 2020. I don't even listen. This shit doesn't even make sense to me. I can't make sense of this. These people are. I can't make sense of it, but I don't want to, and I don't have the energy and or bandwidth. What these people want is they want all things for all white people. All listen. I told you it's the 5 infinity stones: white, male, Christian, heterosexual, and rich. Here we are. In more sugar spiky news, Indiana State University has been sued for blocking LGBTQ plus Pride Festival. Indiana State University is being sued for First Amendment violations by an LGBTQ plus group that claims the school is refusing to let them hold a Pride Festival on campus. The lawsuit, filed by the ACLU of Indiana on behalf of the Pride Center of Terre Haute, claims that ISU officials have prohibited the group from hosting a 2025 Pride celebration on the university's quad, an outdoor student area explicitly designated for, quote, expressive activity, end of quote, despite allowing and sponsoring the event in 2023 and 2024. The Pride Center, an LGBTQ plus advocacy nonprofit dedicated to creating a positive impact on the lives of LGBTQ plus individuals in Vigo County, accuses the university of securing an agreement with the city of Terre Haute to hold this year's festival at an off-campus city park without the group's knowledge or consent. It maintains that holding the celebration off campus would defeat the purpose of the event, which is to show that the campus is welcoming to LGBTQ plus staff, students, and visitors. The Pride Center claims that this is, quote, part of a recent pattern of ISU preventing or discouraging actions and events that are intended to support the LGBTQ plus community, end of quote, according to the lawsuit. The lawsuit also goes on to say that the actions of ISU is not allowing Pride Fest 2025 to occur on campus, uh, not allowing Pride Fest 2025 to occur on campus violates the First Amendment to the United States Constitution. This is happening, y'all. I told y'all yesterday, these people are not going to be okay with you having pride events. Please, I told y'all yesterday to look for all entities across the country to start pulling out of pride events. They do not want to promote the LGBTQ plus community. They don't want to see you all. They want the LGBTQ plus community back in the closet or back in the dark corners, alleyways, and recesses of our communities. As we delve out of the sugar spike segment and deeper into the dossier, I wanted to have some story to cleanse our palates, hopefully, and get us out of the travesty that is this country. So I have this horror story. I'm going to show the video and let you be just as scared as I am.
And have a look at what happened to him. Watch this. He is swallowed whole by a humpback whale while his father was filming. And there you can see he's just been spat out again just seconds later. Incredibly, he wasn't hurt.
I thought it had already eaten me and swallowed me. But of course, I thought that maybe it was a killer whale. We'd been talking about orcas shortly before, so I had that in my head. But when I got spat out, I understood that of course it was just curious and wanted to communicate.
Let me tell you something. Every time I look up, y'all make me more and more afraid to go in the fucking ocean. I'm not going out there playing with y'all, okay? What in the Jonah and the whale is going on here, okay? For those of you all that thought Jonah being swallowed up by the whale was not a real thing, here is empirical evidence. Here we are. I'm not going out. Listen, y'all be scared of a lot of stuff. You know, the scariest place on earth to me, the ocean, which is why I go to the beach. But when I go to the beach, I don't go that far out there. I'm not one of these people, and I'm born and raised in Miami at the beach. Go to the beach all of the time. I can swim like a fish. I can swim quite well. I'm not venturing out into the fucking deep ocean. Please be clear. I'm not one of these people that say, oh, let me swim out half a mile, a quarter of a mile to go get to this sandbar. Nope. If a boat ain't taking me to that shit, I'm not going. The ocean is the scariest place on earth. And this right here, ladies and gentlemen, is proof that I don't need no parts of the ocean. Nope. That man out there kayaking, minding his own business, only to be swallowed up by a whole ass humpback whale. I can't do it. Nope. Nope. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. And live to tell the story. Mm-mm. 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 Okay. Tell him again, Xavier. Baby, I ain't got nothing to do with it. And I don't want no parts of it. It is a scary place out here. Mm-mm. Now, I can go on a cruise, let's be clear. I will go on a cruise, but you telling me to be out on a life raft? Mm-mm. In more news, Outkast is now has now been nominated for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame for the first time they are the only hip hop act among the 14 potential inductees for the 2025 class. Now, My queen Mariah is nominated, along with some other people that have been nominated, but they're the only hip hop artists. My queen Mariah is up for nomination. Chubby Checker is also up for nomination. Cyndi Lauper has been nominated as well. And a bunch of other white people that we don't give a shit about. But now Eric B and Rakim were nominated last year and did not get chosen for induction. And I thought that was a travesty, but that's a whole nother thing. Now we're rooting for Outkast. We hope, Andre 3000 and Big Boy do receive the nomination. I'm here for any reason for me to look at fine ass Andre 3000, because let me tell you something. Let me hold on. Let me take my sip. I have every reason to believe that Andre 3000 is working with about a good 11, 12 inches. And I want every parts of that 11, 12 inches that he got. That's all I got. However, we loves us some Outkast on this platform. Why Mariah ain't already in there? Fuck shit. Fuck shit and fuckery. Because my queen should be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. But them bitches ain't about shit over there anyway. Here we are. We're rooting for my queen as well as Outkast. Lil Baby, you said that like you know. He ain't that short, Lil Baby. Let me see. He can't be that short. Let me ask the Googles. How tall is Andre 3000? He is 5'10". He's taller than me. And I'm not that short. I'm 5'9". I'm just saying. Now, Big Boy is short, but I knew Andre 3000 wasn't that short. As they should, Harold. As they should. If my legs don't feel like spaghetti when I leave your bedroom or you leave my bedroom, the problem is you. I'm not saying the man is a basketball player, Green Girl, but he's not short. Short is a man that's under 5'6". If you are a man under 5'6", yes, you are short. But Andre 3000 is 5'10". That's not short. I'm just saying. We have met before. And according to the Googles, Andre 3000 is 5'10". Me and you have met, Lil Baby. I'm 5'9". Now, if you tell me Big Boy is short, and Andre 3000 looks to be several inches taller than Big Boy. How tall is Big Boy? Because if you look at them stand next to each other, Andre 3000 is at least 4 or 5 inches taller than Big Boy. So if you look at Big Boy and how tall he is, add 4 or 5 inches to that. Maybe even more. Right, look, Lady D, that's almost 6 feet. Y'all want to make that man 5'5". Cha. Look at Tracy. Ciao. Listen, El Cid, baby, the things that Andre 3000 could do. Put a 27 in the chat if Andre 3000 is on your list of people that can come in your bedroom and make the bed rock. Just put a 27 in the chat. If Andre 3000 is one of the people that can come into your bedroom and make the bed rock. We're moving on. In other news, look at Uncle Jay. He the first one. Whore. Mm. Mm. Child. I'm just saying. Mm. In other news, Jay-Z and his album Reasonable Doubt, which was a phenomenal album. If you haven't listened to Jay-Z's Reasonable Doubt album, the problem is you and not us. People say, and I might admit that The Blueprint might be heralded as Jay-Z's best album, but Reasonable Doubt, listen, Reasonable Doubt is right there. Arguing Blueprint versus Reasonable Doubt is like arguing A Tribe Called Quest, The Low End Theory versus Midnight Marauders. Okay. Now I'm always going to say The Low End Theory is better, but people say Midnight Marauders. It's up to you. But Reasonable Doubt is right there with The Blueprint. Okay. That's Jay-Z's best album. Big Boy is 5'6", so that makes sense. I'm telling you, Andre 3000 is at least 4 to 5 inches taller than that. I'm just saying. So, but Jay-Z and his Reasonable Doubt album will be inducted into the Grammy Hall of Fame. It is his first album in the Grammy Hall of, it will be his first album in the Grammy Hall of Fame. This was announced earlier today. Now this album was released way back in 1996. And it joins a list of 8 LPs and 5 singles that will be inducted into the Grammy Hall of Fame. That ceremony and gala will take place on May 16th at the Beverly Hilton in Los Angeles. So, listen. Luther Vandross Never Too Much is Never Too Much from 1981 is also being inducted into the Grammy Hall of Fame, as well as Santana's 1999 Supernatural album. Dr. Dre's The Chronic is also being has been inducted in the past. Sugar Hill Gang's Rapper's Delight has been inducted in the past, as well as The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. They've also all been inducted in the past. So yeah, shout out to Jay-Z. In Kanye West news, so it's being reported that Kanye West and Bianca Censori are reportedly headed for divorce, and this is according to a new report from the Daily Mail. It's being reported that they decided to get a divorce after their multiple controversies, such as the mental meltdown that Kanye West had on Twitter the other day. Y'all know he came out of his body and lost his fucking mind all over Twitter the other day. Now this comes from an alleged source close to Kanye and Bianca, who claimed that that the couple verbally agreed that Bianca will receive $5 million in the split. Also, the alleged source expects a formal legal filing to emerge in the next few days. I don't know. I don't give a damn about Kanye West or whatever the fuck he got going on. I don't give a damn about that white woman. I don't give a shit. She decided to get with Kanye West. after we already knew that he was a psychiatrist's wet dream. So you get what you paid for, ma'am. You got what you wanted. You wanted to be with Kanye West, knowing full well that he was a psychiatrist's wet dream, and you want to cry foul now. We don't give a damn. Moving on. Anthony Edwards is in the news. Anthony Edwards, who plays for the Minnesota Timberwolves, he's a forward for the Minnesota Timberwolves. So his baby mama and his ex, and also his alleged baby mama, let him tell it. Aisha Howard, she's taking him to paternity court in a legal battle over the paternity and support of their newborn daughter. According to court documents, Aisha Howard submitted alleged text messages from Anthony Edwards urging her to terminate the pregnancy. He also, she gave birth, I should say, to Aubrey Summers Howard in October of last year. Now, Anthony Edwards, you should know she's 36 and he's 23. Not that that means anything. She's 36, he's 23. Not that that means anything. She was trying to secure the bag. Let's be clear. She was trying to secure the bag. But hey, get it how you live, honey. He responded by filing legal documents in Georgia requesting a DNA test and court-ordered child support if he was confirmed as the father. Aisha Howard also filed a separate paternity case in California seeking full legal and physical custody along with financial support. She opposed Anthony Edwards' attempt to have the case heard in Georgia, accusing him of trying to manipulate jurisdiction to minimize his obligations. Anthony Edwards, in turn, alleged Howard was strategically filing in California to secure a higher child support order. In her declaration, Howard detailed the early stages of their relationship, claiming she met Edwards in 2022 and spent time with him in multiple cities during his NBA season and off season. She discovered she was pregnant in January of 2024. Let's be clear what this is, okay? She's a gold digging ass hussy. She's trying to secure the bag. She did that, got pregnant, made sure he took the condom off before he then summarily wrote his name in cursive on her vaginal walls. She secured the bag, and now I think he knows, which is why in his legal filings, he requested a DNA test and court-ordered child support if he was confirmed as the father. He, like she said, he's doing that in Georgia because he know Georgia ain't gonna make him pay as much as California. And I agree with him. She's strategically doing it in California because she knows that California is gonna give her more money than Georgia. Listen, I ain't got nothing to do with it. I don't give a damn. I ain't got nothing to do with these people. You get what you paid for. You got your back blown out by a fuck boy that had a lot of money. And now we'll see how this works out. Let's be clear. Uglass Anthony Edwards is not that cute. Let's be clear. She went over there because he got money. He's an NBA, he's a superstar in the NBA with a lot of money. She wanted to secure the bag. She don't want to work nowhere in America, and she wants to be able to secure the bag. So she went and got her back blown out, and now is looking for a payday. I'm just saying. I just have to call it as I sees it. Moving on. Xavier or Tracy C, can y'all go over there and see what time Really B is scheduled for live? Y'all know anytime I see this bitch, this motherfucker on my screen, the one you see on the left, that being Jason Whitlock, my ass itch. So I'm gonna try to get through this story as quickly as I can, because if I stay on this story too long, I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna get this video demonetized, because the things that I'm gonna say about Jason Whitlock will cause me nothing is set up. Thank you, Tracy. The things that I can say about Jason Whitlock will get me demonetized, and I can't stand Jason Whitlock. I cannot stand him. Cannot stand him. So, Alexis Ohanian, husband of Serena Williams, he addressed Jason Whitlock's past and present criticism of Serena Williams and her doing the Crip Walk. Now, Serena's husband got on Twitter and started going in on Jason and him and Jason Whitlock had a back and forth. And this came after Serena Williams did the Crip Walk on during the halftime performance of Kendrick Lamar. Now, Serena Williams earlier this week came out and said that her performance was not a jab at Wheelchair Jimmy. Instead, she clarified that Kendrick's team invited her to Crip Walk on it as a response to the backlash she received during the dance after winning her Wimbledon title in 2012. I don't believe none of that. Even if you tell me Kendrick Lamar's team had you do that, it might have been partly because of the whole Crip walking during Wimbledon. I mean, during after you won, I believe that was the U.S. Open. Was the U.S. Open or was the Wimbledon? I don't remember. But let's be clear, that was a jab at Drake. We know that was. Even if you ain't wanted to be a jab at Drake, Serena, Kendrick Lamar and his team absolutely meant it to be a jab at Drake. Okay. Now, Serena's husband got mad and reminded Jason Whitlock of when Serena did the Crip Walk back in 2012, where Jason Whitlock demanded that she apologize for doing the disrespectful dance after winning the championship. And her husband, Serena's husband, called him a simp and suggested that he wasn't shit. He said, her husband said, quote, "I get it. You're 57 and life didn't turn out the way you imagined. That kind of disappointment must be exhausting. You're the embodiment of peaking in high school, spending decades chasing validation from strangers through likes and digital hugs, only to find that no amount of external approval fills the void. I wouldn't wish that on anyone." End of quote. White boy just got you together, Jason Whitlock, and he needed to get you together. He went on to suggest, Jason Whitlock, that you, quote, work on yourself, end of quote. He said you should work on yourself so that you could spend less time, so that you would have less time for, quote, irrational hating. I ain't got nothing to do with it, Jason Whitlock. White boy just dog walked you. White boy said you peaked in high school. He said you're the embodiment of peaking in high school, spending decades chasing validation from strangers through likes and digital hugs, only to find that no amount of external approval fills the void. That's what the white boy said to you. I ain't got nothing to do with it. Jason Whitlock, you ain't shit, Jason Whitlock. Let's be clear. I'm just saying. Read. Read. Alexis read you down, Jason Whitlock. I don't know what to tell you, bruh. Tracy, you ain't shit. Bitch, you got read down by white boy. White boy read you down. Read. Read. What do you want from us? I don't know what to tell you. Listen, we over here in the black delegation vehemently denounce you, Jason Whitlock. We want no parts of you and reject any parts of you claiming to be black or anybody associating you with the black delegation. Go with God. Shout out to the Wayans family. The Wayans family will be inducted into the NAACP Image Awards Hall of Fame. Shout out to the entirety of the family. Now, that there you see is you got Keenan, Damon, my girl Kim Wayans, Sean Wayans, Marlon Wayans. What's the youngest brother name? I can't never remember the youngest brother name. Somebody remind me of what the youngest brother name is. I can't, he ain't do too much. The youngest brother ain't did that much, okay? But we know the first five: Keenan, Damon, Kim, Sean, and Marlon. I don't remember the other one. But listen, I'm glad somebody is finally showing the Wayans family some love, because what this family has done for comedy, I cannot think of a single family that has done more for comedy than the Wayans family. As a family, I cannot think of a single family that has been more influential. Is that Damon Jr.? There is another sibling. I thought that was the other sibling. There is another brother. There is another brother. Let's be clear. It's not just the four boys. There is another brother, but I thought that was the other brother. That's Damon Jr. Oh, okay. However, I can't think of anybody that's done more for the community or comedy as a family than that family. And I really think that Kim Wayans and what she has done for comedy has done a lot more than than she gets credit for. Shout out to all of them. OJ Simpson is in the news. So, OJ Simpson's estate is preparing to auction off a collection of his personal belongings, ranging from sports memorabilia to more unexpected items, including his prison porn stash. His estate is preparing to auction off a collection of his personal belongings, ranging from sports memorabilia to more unexpected items, including his prison pornography stash. The auction, proposed by Simpson's estate administrator Malcolm Laverne, is expected to take place between March 12th and March 29th and will be handled by Golden Auction LLC. However, Simpson's children have until February 26th to object before the sale moves forward. Among the potential items up for grabs are a painting of OJ by Andy Warhol, a signed USC Heisman poster, and photos of OJ Simpson with political figures like Bill Clinton and Henry Kissinger. Fans of his acting career might also find interest in pictures from his movie appearances in The Naked Gun and The Cassandra Crossing. The auction may also include a series of plaques celebrating his accomplishments in the NFL, his golf career, and even his status as a fantasy football legend. Additionally, there are legal documents from his time behind bars, including handwritten grievances and power of attorney papers. One of the more intriguing finds is a handwritten manuscript in which Simpson allegedly discusses Bruce Jenner and the Kardashian skanks. Of course, the most bizarre item expected to hit the auction block is Simpson's infamous prison porn collection, which was previously rumored to be sold off following his passing. Since Simpson's death last year, Mr. Laverne has made it clear that the auction is intended to pay off creditors seeking claims against the estate. Now, according to sources, people are upset that they're not auctioning off his deathbed. Y'all really trying to buy O.J. Simpson deathbed? First of all, I want no parts of O.J. Simpson's porn stash. Who do y'all think he has in his porn stash? What do y'all think, or which porn stars do you think O.J. Simpson would have in his porn stash? I just want to know. I'll let y'all put it in the chat. Moving on. I listen, the thought of O.J. Simpson's porn stash makes me physically ill. It does. Right. Is the leather glove in there? Just saying. In our last story of the day, Jodeci has canceled several of their tour dates this coming weekend because KC, who leads a lot of the songs, KC has pneumonia. He got pneumonia. Now they're saying he's all right, but he's still trying to recover with his from his bout of pneumonia, and they cancel all their tour dates for the weekend as a precaution. His manager said that he was hospitalized for pneumonia for a short period of time, but has been released and is at home resting with antibiotics. Now, his manager said the weekend's concerts have been canceled, but they're working on rescheduling the shows for later dates. All of their shows after the weekend will proceed normally, and they expect Casey to make a full recovery and things like that. So if y'all looking for, if y'all got some tickets this weekend, they canceled all of their performances, but they're gonna reschedule them. If you got anything after this weekend, go on over there and see Casey saying, "Yeah, forever, my lady, yeah, it's like a dream." I'm just saying, yeah. I ain't got nothing to do with it. We're praying for your recovery. I don't think Mary J. Blige praying for your recovery. I don't think Mary gonna pray for your recovery. But the rest of us, we are praying for your recovery. All of us except Mary J. Blige. The rest of us, we're praying for your speedy recovery. We do want to see you down to the concert singing, yeah. We do want to hear that. It ain't Jodeci without Casey saying, yeah. I'm just saying. Not forever brown liquor. No. I'm not doing this with you, L. Sid. I'm not at all. Not the BET It Tell All movie. mm, mm. Anyway, we hope the best for you, Casey. That's all I got for y'all today, ladies and gentlemen. We've been on here almost 2 hours. And I'm tired. I'm hungry. I got an errand to run, and I'm about to go run that errand. Listen, y'all, we'll be back Monday. I'm going out of town again this weekend, so I will be back on Monday. Yes. So if I get back in time on Sunday, I may do a live on Sunday, or I may be on a panel or something on Sunday. But as of right now, I am slated to be out of town until Sunday afternoon. As I always say, I love y'all. I love on y'all. Thank you all for being vocal, present, and active. Thank you for doing what you do. Thank you for any and all contributions that you make to the channel. They are much obliged. They're much appreciated. I didn't put up the banner at all. Here's the banner. Like I keep telling you all, if you are a new member and you have not, or a member at all, and you don't have access to the members only chat, send me a DM on Instagram or send me an email letting me know your YouTube handle. And then I'll be able to send you a link to join the members only chat. If you aren't a member, consider becoming a member. It's a lot of fun. The members only chat is a lot of fun. Also, if you want to contribute to the platform, the QR code is on your screen for you to contribute to the platform. Thank you to all of those people who have contributed to this platform, and who will continue to do so. We're over here doing the Lord's work, trying to make sure that we bring you all of the things that you need to be aware of. I wish I was ditching y'all for trade, Demetria. That would be good, but never, not so much. Child, L said it be child. We be over there getting it in, okay? Child. The Discord be giving us life abundant. Anyway, y'all, I'm about to get out of here. Got to go run some errands and make some shit happen. That's all I got for y'all. Until next time. Thank y'all for coming. Excuse me. Y'all drive safely. I'm out. Love y'all.